Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to the class of Waste Treatment Technologies, which is one of the course offered in the even semester 20 and 21. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Maria Juliana, and I will be your lecturer for this course. So before we start with the class, I want to introduce you to this course. So let me share my screen. Okay, so I hope that you can see my PowerPoint that I've been shared to you right now. Okay, yeah. So this waste treatment technology class is one of the course that is offered in the even semester in the academic year of 20 and 21. Okay, and as I said previously, I will be your lecturer for this course for the next 6 months. Yeah? And actually you can contact me through this number, yeah, and also this email if you have any question. And if you want to meet to talk about this course, yeah, outside the class directly with me, then you can find me in the Faculty of Engineering Administrative Office. Okay. So now this is the course description. Yeah, so this class is all about, we'll be talking about the type of wastewater, and then also the gas pollution, and then the solid waste, and also the hazardous waste. Yeah, this course will also focus on the parameters of the waste treatment design, yeah, and the methods that we will use during this semester will be the blended learning. Yeah, so there will be a synchronous class, there will be a asynchronous class. Yeah, the information will be given via our LMS, we call Bella. Okay. Now, so the objective of this course, yeah, is that for you, the students, to know the principle of waste treatment technologies and also how to implement these technologies in the industrial process. Okay, so even though this course is over in the regular program, however, I'm appointed by the head of the department that this course should be, using English, yeah, as the official language for this course. Okay. Now, and then what we are going to learn, yeah, there are 7 topics, yeah, including the source and characteristics of wastewater, and then the wastewater treatment, the source and characteristic of the gas pollution, and then how to control the air pollution. Okay, and then we go to the solid waste, yeah, the source and characteristic of solid waste, and also the solid waste management. And then the 7th topic will include the hazardous waste management. Okay, so yeah, there are 3 required readings, so I hope that you have these books with you during this semester. Yeah, so the first book would be the Water Supply and Pollution Control by Fishman and Hammer, and then the second would be the Air Pollution Control Engineering by the Nevers. And then the last one would be the Solid Waste Engineering by Vaseline, Worrell, and Reinhardt. Okay, so this would be very beneficial for you to have these books because it will help you to understand more about the concept of this class. Okay, now, and we will go to the attendance policy. Yeah, so the class will be held on Tuesday in the morning, like today, yeah, at 8:50 a.m. up until 10:30 a.m. Yeah, as this class uses Bella as the LMS, so the attendance, you have to take the attendance via Bella, and the list will be opened, yeah, 30 minutes before the class begins up until 15 minutes after the class begins. So you have 45 minutes to take your attendance every single week. Okay. Nah, And then we move now to the assessment. Yeah. So there are two assessment section here, and I distributed it equally. Yeah, 50% for homework and assignment, and then another 50% for exam. Yeah, so for homework or assignment, there will be two types of assignments. So the first one would be the individual assignment, which costs you 50% each. Yeah. And the indicator for this individual assessment is the understanding of concept and calculation. Okay, while we also have one group assignment, yeah, which is a project in designing the waste treatment system. And you will have a report and presentation as well for this group assignment, and it costs you 10% of the overall score. Yeah, and the indicator for this assessment is how you understand the overall waste treatment system and why you select this type of system. Okay, so that's the first 50%. And then the second 50% will be the exam that I will divide into two types, yeah, which are the quiz, that 20%, and then the midterm and final exam, 30%. Yeah, so for the exam, it will be the written test, yeah, and the indicator will be the concept understanding and also how you understand the calculation for designing the waste treatment system. Yeah. Okay. And okay, yeah, I will end my introduction section. So I hope that in this class during the next 6 months, I hope that you can be active in the class, as it takes two to tango. So I hope that I'm not the only one who will be talking in the class, yeah, but you will also talking by throwing questions and then, you know, lead the discussions and everything. So I hope that we can be a pair, yeah, that is very active and, you know, lead this class to be okay. So for the first topic, yeah, let me stop my screen sharing and I will move to the next PowerPoint about the first topic. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I hope you can see my PowerPoint, my new PowerPoint. Okay, so it's about the source and characteristics of wastewater. So this is our first topic in the class syllabus. Okay, so the source of wastewater actually can come, yeah, from these four sources. Yeah, so the first one comes from the housings. Yeah, so we call it domestic or sanitary wastewater. Sorry. Let me use my pen. Here. Yeah. So the first one comes from the housings. Yeah, we know that we use a lot of soap, and then we also cook in the house. So all of them comes to the sink and then discarded as a wastewater, right? So the first one comes from the housing, or we call it domestic or sanitary wastewater. And then the second one comes from the industrial and agricultural processes. Okay, and then the third one, yeah, it comes from the infiltration or inflow. Yeah. So sometimes that, you know, the groundwater, yeah, it flows into the sewer. Yeah, so it will, you know, add, yeah, the amount of the wastewater. Okay, so the infiltration. Okay, and then the last one, yeah, the source of wastewater can come from the storm water, or the water that comes from the rain. Yeah. Okay. Now, so if I, you know, conclude the sources, actually wastewater is any water that has been affected by human use. Any water that has been affected by human use. Yeah, and then the source of wastewater, yeah, can be actually used to determine these three parameters. Yeah. The first one, the flow rate of wastewater. The second one can be used to determine the characteristic of wastewater, since the storm water will have a different specification as the domestic or maybe, it's dirt, right? Gank, right? And then sand, yeah, it's stormwater. But for domestic or sanitary wastewater that comes from the housing, usually it's soap. Yeah, so it's like foamy water, right? With, usually a lot of oils or fats. Yeah, and then food waste. So, yeah, so the characteristic of the wastewater will be different depending on the source of wastewater. And then the last one would be the type of contaminant or pollutant. Yeah, so the source of wastewater can be used to determine the type of contaminant or pollutant. Okay, now, okay, so these two figures, yeah, are the examples of wastewater. Yeah, and you can see the right is the installation of the wastewater treatment, okay, in a factory. Okay, so usually they have a very, very big vessel, very big tank, yeah, to collect the wastewater and then treat it. Yeah. Nah. Okay. So there are several principal pollutants. Yeah, there are several principal pollutants that are, becoming a concern in the wastewater treatment. Yeah, so the first one, yeah, is a suspended solid, yeah, which we see as a sludge deposit usually. And so if, the pollutants came as a sand or a soil, yeah, it will be suspended, right? And it will have a sludge deposit usually in the bottom of the tank. Yeah. And then the second one is the biodegradable organics. Yeah, this biodegradable organics is quite dangerous for the aquatic ecosystem because it depletes the oxygen. Okay, and then the third one, yeah, it's the nutrient. Yeah, because nutrient will provoke, yeah, the growth of the undesirable aquatic life. Yeah. So it's also not good for the aquatic life as well. Yeah. And then there are also the priority pollutants, refractory organics, and also heavy metals, yeah, which endangers living organisms, including us, yeah, as a human. And then there is also pathogens, yeah, which can transfer a communicable diseases. And the last one would be the oil, yeah, which again reduce the oxygen absorption from the atmosphere and depletes the oxygen content in the water. So it will also endanger the aquatic biota. Okay. Now, based from this principal constituent, actually we can classify the wastewater into several characters. Yeah, several characteristics. Okay. So for the physical characteristic, yeah, we usually see it from the solid content, while for the chemical characteristics, yeah, we see it from the content of inorganic and organic substituent, while for the biological characteristic, we see it from the principal microorganism and its pathogenic counterparts. Okay, now to get the actual characteristic of the wastewater, actually a proper sampling and selection of the analytical techniques are very fundamental. Yeah, because if we do not do a proper sampling, then we cannot see the actual wastewater characters. Yeah, let's say, yeah, let's say if I have a vessel, yeah, with the height of say 2 meters, yeah, and then the diameter will be 10 meters, and I only take only from one point. Yeah. Yeah, it cannot represent the whole condition of the wastewater, right? So actually we have to take it from several points, from the top part, the middle part, and then the bottom part, from the left one, the right one, right? We actually have to take several samples, yeah, to know the actual characteristic of the wastewater. So proper sampling is very important, yeah, to determine the characteristic of the wastewater. And then the selection of analytical techniques, yeah, to analyze, yeah, what is in the wastewater. It's also very important, yeah, for the determination of the wastewater characteristics. Okay, so we go to the first one, yeah, the physical one. Yeah, so for the physical characteristics, yeah, there are several parameters here. Yeah, the first one is the total solid content. Yeah, so the question is why cares? Yeah, why we care about the solid content? Yeah, the first one, yeah, it's because solid takes up space in tanks. Yeah, okay, and then the separable solids also, dictate, yeah, or determine the initial treatment step that we have to take. Yeah, and then the solid, yeah, let's say sands or grit, it also wears pumps and pipes. So it will make your pumps and also pipes, yeah, it will corrode those two, yeah. And the last one, yeah, solid also attenuate the UV light during the disinfection. Okay, yeah, okay, and then, yeah, the total solid content, yeah, can also represent the biological treatment demand. Yeah, because, yeah, a lot of organics, yeah, are associated with solids. Yeah, so this step must be also accounted in the design of the wastewater treatment. Okay, and then why it is also important, the total solid content, because the quantity of ultimate residue or the slugs or the biosolids, yeah, that's the solid content, comes from the biological microorganism, yeah, is actually affected by the influence solids. Okay, so we go now to the second physical characteristics, which is odor. Yeah. So actually, the question is why wastewater smell bad? Yeah. It can, we can classify it into two. Yeah. The first one, yeah, it's because of the gases, yeah, that are produced by the decomposition of the organic matter. Yeah. The second one is because of the substance that are present, yeah, in the wastewater. Yeah. So if in the wastewater, yeah, they have an ammonia, yeah, so it will give you a pungent smell, yeah. And then if you have amine, yeah, in your wastewater, it will give you a very fishy odor, yeah. And if you have chlorine, yeah, in your wastewater, then, yeah, the other produce, it will be like chlor, yeah, it's just like, the one in the swimming pool, yeah, just that kind of smell, yeah. Yeah, even though it is not toxic, yeah, even though the other itself is not toxic, yeah, but it's usually rated, yeah, as number one concern, as number one concern by public. Yeah. Why? Because it can cause significant stress. Yeah, you can imagine if you have a house and next to it, yeah, there is a lot of wastewater, yeah, put there, yeah, and then the smell or the odor comes into your house, yeah, it can give you a very stressful life, yeah, because of the smell. Yeah, that's why, yeah, usually, the housings, yeah, or the offices near the waste treatment, yeah, it will have a very, low market value. Yeah, the property value will be very low. Yeah, it's because of that. Okay. Now for the other, yeah, we can actually measure it using the threshold other number, or we call it ton. Yeah, so ton itself can be calculated by using this equation. Yeah, so A plus B over A, where A is actually the volume of the sample that causes other, and B is the volume of the other free water. Okay. Okay, so let's say I have 100 milliliter of wastewater sample that is causing smell, yeah, causing odor. Okay, let's say I have 100 milliliter, yeah, and then I add 100 milliliter of water, clean one without other, and then I do the smelling. Yeah, I smell it, and then it still smells. Yeah, there is still a faint smell coming from that sample. Yeah, even though I add 100 milliliter of water. So I add another 10 milliliter of water. Yeah, and then after I add another 10, so I add a total of 110 milliliter of water. Then, yeah, right now I do not smell anything. Now, then the ton value, yeah, will be 100 milliliter. Yeah, since A is volume of other causing sample, yeah, which is the initial or the original wastewater, which is 100, and then the volume of other free water, which is 110. Yeah, so I have 210 over 100, so the ton number would be 2.1. Yeah, the smellier the wastewater, then add more other free water inside, right, to make it, to make it odorless. Yeah, so the ton number will be higher, yeah, for the smellier wastewater sample. Okay, and so we can actually use this to measure the other level. Yeah. Okay. Now, next, yeah, it would be the physical characteristic for the wastewater would be the temperature and density. Yeah, why? Because the temperature, yeah, it will, sorry, again, yeah, the temperature will affect the solubility of oxygen in water. Yeah. And then it also affects the chemical reaction rates, and then last, it will also affect the biological activity. Yeah, so it is very important, yeah, for us to know the temperature of the wastewater, because by then we can predict, yeah, how fast the chemical reaction rates, and then how active the biological activity is, and how what is the level of the oxygen solubility inside our wastewater. Yeah, and then the second one, yeah, is the density. Yeah, the density is also important. Yeah, why? Because when we want to design the sedimentation tank, we have to know the density of the wastewater. And density is also associated with temperature. And density can be, an indication, yeah, to know the concentration of total solid in wastewater. The higher the solid is, usually the density will also be higher. Yeah. Okay. And then we have also the last two. Yeah, we have the last two characteristic, physical characteristic of the wastewater, which are the color and turbidity. Now for the color, yeah, color itself represents the age of wastewater. Yeah, so if we have a darker color, yeah, it's usually, the age of the wastewater with darker color is usually longer. Yeah, it's usually larger than the one that has the clear, the lighter color. Yeah, and then the darker color also indicates the higher pollutant concentration, or the wastewater undergoes the anaerobic condition. Yeah, so color can represent the age of wastewater. Yeah, and then the darker color can represent the age, yeah, the larger age or the higher pollutant concentration, or whether it has undergoes the anaerobic condition. Okay, and then we also have turbidity. Yeah. Now the turbidity, usually we use this unit NDU. Yeah, and we can measure it using a turbidity meter, either the Jackson candle or nevolometric. Yeah. Okay, so turbidity itself, yeah, it correlates closely to the color. Yeah, because the higher turbidity, usually the color is darker. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there is one exercise here. Yeah, there are 4 types of wastewater. Yeah, and I want you to list in order from low to high. Yeah, the first one, the parameter is density. So I want you to order these 4 wastewaters, yeah, from low density to high density. Yeah, and then for the second one, I also want you to order it from low total solid content to high total solid content. Okay. Okay, so I want you to, list this, yeah, and then you submit your answer via Bella. Yeah, I will put the home for the first assignment, and then you can submit your answer there. Okay, the assignment, yeah, will due today, yeah, in the afternoon at 2 p.m. yeah, sharp. So I hope that no one will be late in submitting their assignment. Okay, so any question for this class? Okay, so if you have any question, then actually you can contact me, yeah, via email or via my cell phone number, my active WhatsApp chat, yeah, or you can also contact me, yeah, and since I will upload this to YouTube, then you can also write down the comments, yeah, your question in the comment section below, or you can find me in the administrative office in Faculty of Engineering. Okay, so thank you very much and see you next week.